So how are you at this point making a profit? That's what a lot of people are going to want to know.
Yeah.
You have a new business and you have your
That's a
nonprofit.
good question.
So
Yes.
how do you make your profit?
Yeah. Okay. So for Handiwork, what I do is I offer various programs. I
Okay.
offer.
Okay, we are going to be talking to Keisha Montfluery, and she is the founder of Handiwork. And I'm really excited about this interview. So we're going to jump right into this. Gosh, I think I've known you since 2018.
Yes.
Exactly 2018 or
Yeah.
2017 even.
No, 18. 18 for
18.
sure. It might have been the end of 17, but 18 for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So tell me a little bit about what Handiwork is. This is your business that
My
you've started.
baby.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
tell
yes.
us.
Okay, so Handiwork LLC was founded. It's what it does is encourages our young girls to be able to practice healthy confidence so
Okay.
that she's not given into negative behaviors such as self-harm and bullying. So we
Mm.
want to show her practical tools and skills to be able to just navigate and cultivate healthy relationships. And like I said, healthy confidence is
Yeah.
the key word that sticks out whenever I'm speaking about handiwork and what we do.
Yeah. So how did you end up, like what inspired you to start?
Yes. Okay. So it's so funny because I can go as way back as I have a nonprofit also. So it started with the nonprofit,
Okay.
but the nonprofit is faith-based. And when I was going into, different school sites and different organizations, they have certain restrictions on things. So
Okay.
I believe that our girls still need the foundation of what a healthy confidence looks like.
Absolutely.
Anybody, man, woman, boy, girl, we all need that. So I was able to just frame the foundations of healthy confidence to be able to pour into our young girls. And me, myself, came out of an unhealthy marriage. And just based off of that, working with our youth, having my background in child development and in child human development, I have my degree in. And then I have my own kids. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
That
okay.
always helps,
Yeah,
right?
yes. I'm like, something different needs to happen. I don't
Yes.
want our girls. Like I said, it's for everyone, I believe, to have a healthy confidence. But I
Yeah.
believe my passion and my purpose is for our young girls. So I just wanted to make sure that I plant those seeds in them as young as we
Yeah.
can get them so that they're not making those same decisions that I made.
Yeah. Now tell me
Yes.
exactly what handiwork means. Like, what does that
Hmm.
stand for if someone sees
Yeah.
it? I
Okay.
know you got
So
your shirt on.
yes, I know. I'm so sad that you guys can't see the
Look at
full.
that. Looks
But
good.
yeah. So handiwork base. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I'm like, okay, this is a part of the journey, right? A part of the
Yeah,
process, getting to know
absolutely.
your business, and
Yes.
um, I like to share the background of what handiwork means. And handiwork means something that one has made or done. And
Okay.
when you think about that, I want our girls to be able to know that she's not just put on this earth, like she wasn't an accident. She's not, she's not just floating around. We need her. She has
Right.
been made or done in a way to be able to pour back into other people. So we
Yeah.
have different skills, we have gifts, and we have talents. And I just want her to know that she's needed and she's here to serve a purpose
Yes.
in whatever way that may look like, whether it's owning your own business, baking those cakes,
Yeah.
serve, volunteering. There's so
Yeah.
many different things that we could be doing, but I want them to know that you were made to do something in this world. So
Yes.
yes.
No, I love it. I love it.
Thank
So I
you.
want to talk to you about now I know that you started your nonprofit and that's kind of how you and I started to connect
Yes,
first.
yes,
And your nonprofit's called Abundantly Authentic, is that
yes.
correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And so tell me the kind of the thought process on morphine. I know you went from starting it fully as a faith base and you
Yes.
wanted to move into the schools. So how
Hmm.
did you decide like, okay, this is going to be my for-profit arm?
Hmm.
And how are you making that delineation between the two?
Yeah, well, I have the heart of service, period. I love to volunteer places. I love to do, to help others.
Yeah.
So when I started Abundantly Authentic, it literally, the nonprofit, it literally, I had no hopes or no nothing to start a business. I literally just did the workshops for girls and moms. And I had people asking me like, well, do you need help with this or do you need help with that? Like,
Yeah.
we really want to give back. And I'm like, I'm just
I
doing
don't
this
know.
because, like I just feel like it's important in our community.
Yes.
So when I started little by little, people kept asking, or asking about when the next workshop would be. I started with one workshop and then it kind of morphed into a little
Yes.
bit more. So when I finally got to the space where somebody was like, you're running a nonprofit, and I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean by that? So I started to dig into it, and that's how I ran into one of your YouTube channels, and I'm like, even the way you broke it down, I was like, you know what?
I can do
I'm
this.
already doing the work. Let me
Yes.
form it and see what happens.
Yes.
So that's how that happened. But then, like I said, when I started going into the schools, or different community organizations, they do have, they want
Some
you to be a little bit
restrictions.
more, yes, they want you to be
Yeah.
a little bit more flexible. And so I started, like I said, I was working, a supervisor at a child development center before and after school program, and
Yes.
we're always like, having, activities and stuff with the kids. And I just started to write out curriculums based off of the 5 foundations of a healthy confidence.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, I could do the same thing that I'm doing, with Abundantly Authentic, just in a, broader sense, and
Yes.
be
In a
able
broader
to,
scope. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. And then just listening to other, I didn't know speaking was a thing. I didn't know
Oh,
I can charge for my workshops. I know I did not know all this until I started to like kind of branch out a little bit to
yeah.
see how I can serve.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that's how that was birthed in that way.
So how are you at this point making a
Mhm.
profit? That's what a lot of people are going to want to know.
Yeah.
Have a new business and you have your
That's a good
nonprofit.
question.
So
Yes.
how do you make your profit?
Yeah. Okay. So for Handiwork, what I do is I offer various programs. I
Okay.
offer one-on-one coaching. I offer group coaching, and then
Mhm.
I do little confidence challenges. So with that, I'm able to charge a certain rate for the one-on-one. Charge a certain rate for the 5-day confidence challenges,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
yet developing the programs. And even when, like, say for the one-on-one, I'm sorry, for the group coaching, I was already doing workshops. Now
Yes.
I just, that it
Yeah.
was
You
a
just made it into a smaller
yeah,
group.
yes,
Yes.
it was easy to transition and just charge for it,
Yes.
like whatever that may look like. Then it went into one-on-ones. What I did was I reached out to different moms, different, that I had relationships with that had girls around the age that I was trying to serve. And I
Mm.
asked them, can I do a one-on-one with your girl? I have a program that I'm launching. Can I do this for this series of time? I
Yes.
acted as if they were paying clients. So I had a
Yes.
contract drawn out, I had the curriculum built out, and I literally navigated with these girls for a total of a month. I gave them 4 sessions and just kind of walked them through that. And that helped me too,
I was going
because
to
I get to
say,
see, yeah, what
yes.
works, what doesn't work,
Yes.
so I did a lot of my services for, in exchange for, testimonials,
Yes.
in exchange for references, just different ways. And you think that, yeah, who's going to be like, I want to work for free? No, that's not what it is. You are having to build a customer base. And
Right.
it's so funny because this was like I said, 2018. Now those people are constantly referring me to people, constantly. And once I was able to get my first client on the one-on-one, my first group session, my first 5-day confidence challenge, then you just kind of go up from there. Like, okay, cool. So this
Yes.
is needed. This is, of value to other people. And
Absolutely.
then I just started to, that kind of built my value within myself to make sure that, what I was doing was something valuable to other people.
Yeah, and I'm super proud of you because I do
Yeah.
I do always recommend for people to just
Hmm.
go out and make a beta course or make
Yes.
a beta whatever service
Hmm.
you're planning to offer,
Yes.
because what that allows you to do is really learn what people want, what they need, and
Hmm.
how to like change it and make iterations to it.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm proud of you. I think that
Yeah,
is
thank you. Thank
I
you.
am.
And I can accept that from you like wholeheartedly, because you were there from the beginning,
Oh,
I was emailing you and I'm
oh yeah.
like, yeah, so
Hey, that was fun though. That was fun. And you know what? you sent I told my daughter I had to get on this call this morning to do this interview. And she said, who are you interviewing? And I said, Keisha.
Yeah.
And she goes, who's that? And I said, remember? Yeah. I said, authentic. She sent you a mirror and the book.
Yes, yes.
And so you were hustling from the start. Like you did a good job just kind of getting your name out.
I forgot about that actually.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, these things all make a difference. And to have the courage to get out there and just start your course, which I've always done all my courses that way. I just started, and I tell people it's a beta course.
Yeah.
And, whoever joins, and I run the course that way. And you get a lot of information by working one-on-one, having people go through your curriculum, see where they're not getting it or where they're getting it, so I'm really proud of you. And I love that you have a diversity in all of your income streams.
Yeah. Yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
That makes all the difference. And
and you don't even realize it until like I started, like when I came up with 5-day confidence challenges. So that's 5 whole days I connect with, is group coaching with the girls, 5 whole days, 45 minutes each day. And somebody literally was like, well, what if I paid for that for my girl for just one? And I was like, okay, I didn't think about that, but they're giving me ideas.
Yes, exactly.
This is how I'm coming up with my curriculum, my content is based off of the needs of the people that are approaching me. So, and
that's the best way, because if there's one, there's
that,
right?
Yes.
So where are you now? Like, what's your newest thing? I know you just got Handiwork off the ground, but it's kind of similar to Abundantly Authentic for a more secular audience, right?
Yes.
So what's your newest addition to your business, or what can we look forward to?
Yeah. Well, like I said, Handiwork, because like you said, I started with Abundantly Authentic, and I went under the tagline of Confidence Coach for Girls. So everyone knows me as just the Confidence Coach for Girls. Yep. And I think that there's a melting that's happening between Abundantly Authentic and Handiwork. Yes. And I'm in the process right now of rebranding Handiwork a bit so that it's more recognizable. Yes, Abundantly Authentic is there, and there's both of them that I just want whoever needs the services, whoever, they're able to make the difference between what they're needing. Right. So yeah, Handiwork is relaunching. We have a logo. We have these brand new shirts, and
so cute.
I wish I could find it. We have little masks. Like, we're doing our thing. We're trying to get out there. And then also the services that we have to offer. Here's one of the masks right now with our little crown.
Oh, cute.
On it. Yeah. So the services that we have to offer at Handiwork, I'm the same thing that we're talking about, like, it's trial and error. So I do my 5-day confidence challenges in the first few months of the year. Yeah. And then I'm in the process of trying to develop more programs for the second half, just so I can have like a consistent flow of the programs. Yeah, so right now Handiwork is what I'm focused on, so that I'm able to get the word out there, talk about the foundations of confidence and what that looks like, just so everyone can know what to look for and what to, in Handiwork.
You're getting brand recognition.
Yeah,
so yes. The things that you've been out there doing, because I've seen you do a lot, so I could tell people, but I want you to tell them. Yes. What have you found to be the thing that resonates most with people when you're out there trying to advertise your business? Like, I know you've been on Thursdays and you leave a little note. What have you found to be the most, the thing that pulls people in the most?
Well, because the company is service-based, and because I'm working with the youth, my experience that I had at the Child Development Center, that before and after school program, we were marketing. I was in charge of budgets. I was, doing all that. So I just shift all those skills that I did have to be able to bring it to Handiwork. Right. The cool thing about what I do is that I've learned throughout the years is that, like, social media is a way to be able to market. It's not the it's not the end all be all. So it's a way. So I'm making sure that my content, I learned this from you actually, my content is consistent.
Yes.
So from the get-go, I kind of came up with a plan.
Yeah.
Since it is based off of 5 foundation of confidence, then
Yeah.
I just every day I just share one of the foundations and
Yeah.
share a thought behind it. So
Good.
it's
Okay.
very, yeah, so it's very consistent, it's fluid in the way that it looks. You know, when you're on my page, you
Yep.
know to look for, those colors like you were
Yes.
saying,
Yeah.
and different things like that. So social media is one way that I use, a tool that I use, but because I'm working with the youth, I do vendor events, and people ask me all the time, like, how do you do that in a service-based business? But I set up a table. I put pretty little things on the table, like glittery
Yeah.
things, so it'll attract the girl. Because most of the time she'll be like, "Mom, what's that?" And
Yeah.
then I'm able to share the information with
That's
them
right.
because it's relationship based. My service is relationship based, and I'm having to build a relationship before the mom or parent guardian can entrust me to be able to support her girl in the way that she's needing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, where are you located?
Yeah, I'm in Southern California, so about a little ways from San Diego.
Okay, but you do a lot of the interviews and things via Zoom, like anyone could.
Yes, I do. Well, since the pandemic, I was a little hesitant to do anything virtual because I love the in-person. I love to be able to connect with our girls in that way. I think is powerful. Is that something different?
Yeah.
But obviously, since the pandemic, I opened it up to virtual, and that's how I started
I was
started
gonna say,
making the income. Yes.
you come through very very well. Your
Hmm.
personality, your
Thank
warmth, all
you.
that comes through very well on Zoom. So I think when your personality is just a
Hmm.
specific way, it's going to come
Yes.
through no matter where you are.
Yes, that's cool.
It's gonna-
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I'm like, I
absolutely.
want to be there with them. I want to see the light in their eyes as they're sharing their stories. I just love that. I love that.
Yeah,
But there is some benefits to doing Zoom, which I've been
absolutely.
able to connect with girls from Texas,
Yeah,
Illinois, like different places that I wouldn't have had the opportunity if that didn't happen. So,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Now, as far as life and balance go, and I call
Hmm.
it managing it all,
Yes.
what is kind of like one of your biggest aha moments about
Mhm.
managing it all? Like what, tell me what you think about.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're saying managing it all instead of balance.
Oh yeah, I
Because
don't.
for a long, yeah, you're like, no. For a long time, I thought I was doing something wrong because I'm like, I don't know how to balance whatever they're saying, the home, the work, I don't know how to do that. But I really, like you said, came to the aha moment, like balance is going to look different for you than it's going to look different for me. And
Yep.
right now, balancing and for a while now means to be present with what I have and with my children. So when I'm with my children, I try to intentionally listen to the conversations, try to be with them. Now, is it easy? By all means, no,
No,
because
it's not.
we're ingrained to like multitask. But
Right.
right now, this is a season where I need to be focused. So I try to be with them. And when I'm working, I'm working. So yeah, and then in the midst of all that, the kids, like I'm learning that what worked for them in elementary school, because I have the two girls
Yes.
that's going to middle school, and then I have the my son who's older and transitioning to college. So what worked for them, for us in elementary school, is not going to work for me now. It's not
No,
going to
it's
work for the
so
family.
true.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The
So
rhythms of your life
yes.
change
I
all the time.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that you said rhythm. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Like once you have it down, though, you're like, yeah, and
Yeah.
then a change, and then a
Exactly.
change
And then it's
or
another.
shit.
It's true. It's so true. Like that is why I used to think of it as balance, and then I was like, no,
Yeah.
it's managing it all because you
Yes.
truly are managing things. You are not
Yes.
balancing. You're just
I
trying to
love that. I love
get
that. That
everything.
might be my handiwork note tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Make it. Yeah. I call it MIA because I feel
Mhm.
like that's what you're
That's
doing. You're
cool.
managing everything.
Yes.
And I don't really believe that there's such a thing as value anymore. I
Hmm.
mean, value, balance
Balance. Yes.
anymore, because it's, yeah, I had the
Yeah.
best quote. It said, not from me, it's from
Hmm.
someone else. It said, balancing means focusing on what matters most when it matters most. Like,
Mm.
because you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
balance
yeah.
everything,
Yes, you
but you can
can. So
focus
I'm like,
very.
no, I'm going to be present. in the, be intentional about it and try
Exactly.
to schedule myself. And if it doesn't work, then, there's a shift that needs to happen or
Yes.
whatever. But having the grace to be able to try new
Yes.
things with the schedule and different things like that.
So I know a lot of the audience that would be watching
Mhm.
this would want to know, which is why I love that you have both your for-profit and your nonprofit,
Yes.
and they're working together.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you keeping those separate? How are
Mm-hmm.
you bringing them together?
Yes,
It's not as,
definitely.
yeah, tell me how you're doing that. Like
Mm-hmm.
as far as funds come in and
Yeah, I was just about, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And like I said, again, I remember specifically you did a video, and you were answering questions about that, about
yeah.
having both, a nonprofit and a for-profit. Because for a minute I was confused, like, can I do both?
Yeah.
So I remember you speaking on it, and you literally, your main thing was like to make sure that you keep very good record for your nonprofit and separate, financially
Yes.
the for-profit and nonprofit. So as far as the back end of it, the nonprofit is a nonprofit. I have a board. I have, we have different types of programs. Our audience is, yes, still our young girls, but is a little different. Is a faith-based audience.
Right.
So that is a little bit more manageable as far as like I have the CFO who's taking care of the financials. I
Mm-hmm.
have the secretary who's taking care of, that stuff. We're coming together collectively to come up with ideas and different ways we're able to
Yeah.
fundraise and do different things. Now, handiwork, that's not me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But authentic is too. But I'm saying like those are my ideas. Those
Yes.
are my,
You have some more
resources.
freedom. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You
I
do.
know I could talk real to you because you understand, but
Yes.
yes, you have more freedom. And the same thing with the financials. Just I
They're
created
yours.
it. I was working under the sole proprietorship
Proprietary,
for a
yeah.
little bit, but I created the LLC in Handiwork so that for me, I just needed to keep it separate. I
Right.
wanted to make sure, even mentally, emotionally, physically, for people to see that this is a business. It's not Keisha just coming out here. So,
Right.
and the experience that I had, remember I told you I was managing the childcare center. I was doing budgets, I was marketing, I was
Right.
creating
Right.
relationships, and it's the same exact thing that I'm doing,
Absolutely.
but for myself.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah,
it's a different feeling because
yes,
when you are running a nonprofit, those
hmm
funds come through to the entire board, everyone
yes,
sees it. Your
hmm
salary has to be agreed upon,
yes,
all of the things. But when
hmm
you're doing handiwork, and for handiwork,
yeah,
it allows you to reach a wider audience as well,
yes, yes,
Um,
yep,
but I really feel like you have a place for both because of the
hmm
faith base. You
yes,
can really focus out on an audience that is, more inside the churches or
yes,
youth groups or
yes,
things like that. And then for your
hmm
wider, vast
yeah,
audience that you
hmm
might be reaching on social media
yeah,
or anywhere else, your blog or
hmm
whatever you have, you can really, reach out to anyone.
yes.
And
And it's
so,
so funny because I will start with seeing somebody at a handiwork event, being a vendor. And then I guess through their research, they're enrolling for a Bible study at Abundantly Authentic,
yes,
or
exactly.
vice versa. And I'm like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, like I would have, and I make it very clear, especially to the handiwork clients, because I'm through the schools, and some of the schools, the homeschooling, they tell you, you can't do anything
Yeah,
faith
right.
based.
No,
It has to be
just,
very
yeah.
and I will let them know, like, this is not faith based. This is, and they're like, we understand, we understand. I'm like, okay, just as long as
Yes, yes.
yeah. So yeah.
I love it. I'm really proud of you. I
Yes,
think
thank
you're just doing
you.
such a great job,
Thank you so
honestly.
much. Thank you so much.
So, oh yeah, no, I'm loving this. I'm loving our conversation. So, is there any advice that you would personally like to share,
Mhm,
to anyone that might be thinking about starting this journey,
mhm.
whether a for-profit, nonprofit business, but
Yes.
just the startup journey in general?
hmm Yeah. Well, one of the main things, a couple things that comes to mind, is the just to start it. Like you, you will go through your mind trying to figure out how to do it, why to do it. You will talk yourself out of it. You see all these people. I see a bunch of young girl programs everywhere, right? But I know what I have to offer, and I know that my voice it's just different. Like I'm going to attract different people.
That's
So
right.
we need you in whatever space that you are pondering or considering. We need you, and we need that unique thing that you have to offer.
Yes.
Secondly, is to be consistent with what that is. Because I see a lot of people, they start, they're excited, they're not, but then they're not making the money that they
Yep.
want, or they're not getting the followers that they want on, on social media or whatever the case is. But to whatever consistent looks like for you, and this is something, like I said, I learned from you, is like
Oh,
the consistency of something that really stood out that you said one time was like to what's the word that you use, to cultivate like your audience that you have now, instead of trying to worry
oh,
about
yes.
growing it. Yes. And when you
Yes.
said that, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm doing a disservice to my 2,000 followers if I'm worried about how to get to 10,000,
That's
like,
exactly right.
no, the people that are following me, they're following me for a reason. They
Yes.
like what they see, they want to see more, so I'm going to focus on them, and whoever comes along for the ride, come on.
That's right. That's perfect.
Yeah,
That's so
so
true.
so those would be like a couple of things: consistency, and to start what, because we need your voice, we need you in the way that you can produce whatever you need to produce.
Exactly. No, I love what
Yeah.
you're saying. And I do want to make it clear to people too that we in the interview, or the not the interview, but the questions that you answered before the
Hmm.
interview.
Yes.
If you guys want to read that, you can see it on ashleytate.com. It'll be there. But one of the things I wanted to mention is that when I asked you how long did it take to, start making a profit,
Hmm.
I mean, you guys have to understand it takes sometimes a year to get
Yes.
started. It takes,
Yes.
a year and 6 months. Sometimes it's a year and
Hmm.
a month. Like sometimes it's 2 or 3 months,
Yes.
depending.
Yes.
But I think the thing is, like what you're saying, to piggyback on that, is to stick with it. Because if
Hmm.
you really believe in what you're doing, the
Yes.
money will follow. It really does
Yes.
follow.
Yes.
It's not,
Hmm.
so what, I have one last question for
Yeah.
you.
No, no worries.
What did you do? Well, before our lightning round.
Okay. No worries. Go ahead.
So what were you doing in the meantime when you were
Hmm.
building your business? Were you working full
Yes.
time? What were you
Hmm.
doing? 'Cause-
Yeah, well, I was a site supervisor for the after school program. So I was salaried, but because I was the supervisor, if somebody called off, guess who has to step in? If like I have to go shopping, there was so much responsibilities that came along with that position. But I think, like you said, as tired as I was, I would make sure that I made time for the weekend to develop, curriculum. I didn't realize that that's what it was at the time,
yeah.
but those things that I had been working on from years ago, I'm able to use them now. So
Yes.
even now, like I have the nonprofit, I have the LLC, and I got a position as a part-time youth case specialist. So
Okay.
now there's some shifting that's going to have to happen that I'm just going to have to navigate through. But my thing is my passion, my purpose, my priority is handiwork and abundantly authentic. And because I've been staying consistent and been doing it for so long, yes, some things might have to change a little bit, but because I have this foundation of what I'm doing, it can ease the
The shift.
burdens of it a little bit. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yes.
And that's also the idea of pouring into your current audience,
Mm-hmm.
because they trust
Yes,
you. They know that like
yes.
you have a life and they can see that you
Mm-hmm.
have children. And that's
Yes.
why I try to tell people all the time, like incorporate the rest of your life
Mm-hmm.
into your brand so people understand what's
Yes.
going on, like sometimes it is important to press pause just so that you can get your life together or
Yep.
make this shift in your rhythm or routines
Yes.
or whatever. So I love that you share that, because I want people to see that it is not all roses. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything that
Mm-hmm.
people are doing, they're doing it in addition to,
Yes.
right, whatever you were doing in your life before.
That's so
And
good. That's
yeah,
such a great reminder, because I think even myself thought that it would be easy. You see these things on social media.
I
You
know.
see, oh, how to make six
I know.
figures in 2 weeks, and I'm like, wait, where is that?
I
So I'm always
know.
like,
Yeah. It's just not, I mean, and I always hate to be kind of the Debbie Downer, but it's like, I just want people to be realistic. Like that may
yes.
not be your definition of success.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, everybody would love more money, but if your definition of success is having this empire for girls where, you know, they feel confident and they receive your message and they can think back to who made a change in their lives, that's the most important thing.
Yes, you know? Yes.
So, okay, let's go into this lightning round because our interview is long. Okay, so you just give the
answer that comes.
Wait,
oh my
ready?
gosh. Okay. All right.
All right. Best advice you've ever received.
Ooh. To say to value myself. Value myself.
All right. To value. That's a good one.
Yes.
Texting or talking?
Texting. I'm sorry. It's easy, quick. Let's go.
It's true. And you can go back to it when you need to. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm working on it. Okay.
Yes. Last book you've read.
Oh my goodness. How to Successful Women. I think it was either Speak or Think, one of those, but Successful Women, I think it was Speak Differently. By Valerie Burton.
Okay.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Ooh, tea.
Okay. Your favorite podcast?
Oh my gosh. I don't have one right now. I have one that really does stick out to me is a woman that, you know, just like we're connecting locally. Her name is Tamika, and it's Tuesdays with Tamika. And she goes in.
I like that.
Yeah, she goes in. Oh yeah.
I love it. All right. Up late or up early?
Oh, up early for sure.
I'm with you.
For sure.
Yes.
I'm like, by 2:00 comes, I'm down, like I'm sleeping.
I know. I need the day to be over.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't ask me to continue thinking. I'm so with you. Well, okay, Keisha, that is it. If you have any piece of advice that you'd like to leave us with, please go ahead and do so. Anything.
Yes. Well, just to say, just because because of the space that you're giving for big people to be able to hear the real, like I said, I just want to leave it off with that. Like, just start what you're going to start, what you have, you know, in your heart to start. Share, you know, like you have resources to be able to do that. One of them is Ashley over here. And just keep being consistent with whatever you have that you are going to be doing. So don't give up, you know, don't give up on it.
Thank you, Keisha, so much.
You're welcome.
So Keisha with Handiwork, and Keisha, where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me at Confident Keisha on Instagram and Facebook. And with that, you'll be able to just navigate through everything else. Yes. But at Confident, the word confident and Keisha. I just thought it would be easy. Confidence Coach for Girls. My name is Keisha. Put it together. Here we go.
I love it. Confident Keisha. Well, thank you so much for being here. And of course, if any of you that are watching are interested in joining others with hundreds of other people just like Keisha who are living out their purpose in the Social Life Tribe, if you'd like to join us, go grab your invitation at ashleytate.com. And thank you so much for watching.